Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brock Talk. This is my podcast where I just get on here and start talking. This is the historic fourth episode. I've been saying that the goal is to get to 7 because 90% of podcasts make it to 7 and then they quit after that. But I've been thinking all right, well, let's try to get past that. Let's go to 8, right? Okay, we can raise the number. Maybe 90% of podcasts will quit after 8. Not saying I'm going to quit after 8, but I've decided the goal is 8 right now. 8 episodes of Brock Talk. This is number 4, so I guess we're halfway there. And we've definitely had more than when we started. Obviously, but the first episode I did was years ago anyway. That's been said, that's been done. Got some notes like I do all the time. I'm going to be looking over here, glancing at my notes. We're going to be talking about the Switch 2. We're going to be talking about the TikTok ban. We're going to be talking about the death of the video game Paladins and other games like that. Then we're going to get into 5 video game recommendations for newer gamers. What games should people play if they want to get into gaming, if they're trying to get into gaming. And then we'll round it out with what I've been reading, what I've been watching, what I've been playing. Might be one of the shorter. This episode might be on the shorter side. I've just been thinking I want to record an episode. So I thought of the topics that were in my head. Decided to get, like I said, get on here, just start talking, as the name says. Okay, so let's start with the Nintendo's announcement of the Switch 2. I'm a little late on this. I know that this announcement happened in February. This announcement happened in January. Now we're in February. It's February 8th, one day before Super Bowl Sunday that I'm recording this. But yeah, the Nintendo announces the Switch 2. I think it looks cool. It looks like I saw one user comment that said, this is the most, Nintendo made the most get off our backs video, or console, I guess, and which I guess that's true, right? The Switch 2 will be backwards compatible. It's a little bigger. There's a whole bunch of new stuff for the fans of the Switch. Now, I actually have a Switch OLED, and I think I got it last year. Yeah, I think I got it last year. So a lot of people were saying, just wait for the Switch 2, but I also was like, whatever. I'm just going to get a Switch OLED. And I played the Metroid Prime Remastered on it, which was really good. That was really fun. And then I started playing the original Final Fantasy VII, and then I kind of just stopped playing it. The same thing. I had this SpongeBob Fry Cook game. Well, I mostly got it just to play games on my break at work, and now things have changed and I don't have that. So right now the Switch for me kind of just sits up in my room, but I believe it will come back. I thought it was really cool. I thought even when they announced the Switch, it was really cool, and I'm not super invested that I was like, oh great, they announced the Switch 2. What a waste of time. I'm like, whatever. I'm kind of indifferent, but that's cool. If you're a Switch fan and you're excited for the Switch 2, yeah, that's pretty cool. I also think it's cool that outside of they made Nintendo made the Wii and then they made the Wii U. It's rarely do they make a console that's similar. I don't know. I guess you can debate this, with the DS and the 3DS, but I always think of the Nintendo Entertainment System, and then the Nintendo 64, and those are pretty different from each other, and the GameCube, then there was the Wii, so it's cool that there's just Switch 2, right? So I think it looks cool. If I ever got it again, I'd probably play Metroid 4. That looks good. Most likely is going to be a lot like Metroid Prime, but still, I mean, sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it looks good, sure. If it's like Metroid Prime. So that's all I got to say for that topic I talked about on an earlier episode of Brock Talk which was the TikTok ban. This was pre-TikTok ban. Now we're sitting here post-TikTok ban. And man, let me tell you what, I think we all got tricked, right? We all got hoaxed into this. For those who don't know, for those who weren't on TikTok, it was banned. I was wondering, a lot of people were wondering, like, how's it going to work? Like, are we not going to be able to access the app? Are all the videos going to be deleted, whatever? And I remember waking up the day it was, I don't even know if it was the day, it was like a little bit before the day it was banned. Like, I logged in and it stopped working, and it said, there was a message that was like, as of right now, TikTok is banned. We're working with blah, blah, blah to get it unbanned. And then the very next day, like barely 24 hours, I don't even know if it was 24 hours, TikTok was back. There was a message that said, thank you to President Trump for unbanning TikTok. That's not exactly what it said. Sorry, that's a misquote. But it said something to that, like, and it was kind of just like, what the heck? Like, what? Like, we all got tricked. Like, was this a big thing to make Trump look good? I don't know. I stand by that. Maybe not it being banned completely, but I do think that social media, like all social media, definitely needs like 3 weeks out of the year where there's just no social media. So it's back. I could definitely tell you what friends of mine use. So I'm an avid Instagram user, and I have some friends on Instagram, but they mostly use TikTok. Like, as soon as the TikTok ban happened, or not long after the TikTok ban happened, like that next day, I could tell like more of my friends are active on Instagram, sending more reels. And I'm like, oh, I can tell who is on TikTok most of the time and moved over here. I still don't think there's that much of a difference between the two apps. I mean, I like Instagram more. You know, I think the posts, like in the pictures and all that, is better. But I mean, it's really not. To me, I stand by that. I told my friend that Instagram was kind of like your girlfriend's twin sister or something, right? So, but just a really weird thing to start the year off. It's definitely one of those, like, we really freaked out about this thing, and then it was over and done with even before it started. And it's still weird though. I tried to download. A lot of people use the app. I think it's called CapCut to edit their TikToks and short videos like that. And that app was it said it was banned in my country. Maybe I was trying to download the wrong version. I don't know, but yeah, just to me, just a really weird thing. And I guess, hey, if you're a big TikTok fan, there you go. I upload a few videos on there, but really weird. That's all I can say, I guess. It's really weird. Okay, and moving on to our next topic. Hi-Res Studios lays off a bunch of employees at Evil Moji and announces that significant updates for games like Paladins and Rogue Company, and I feel like there was another one, are done. So they're not going to update these games anymore. The servers are up, but they will not receive significant updates. And honestly, so for Rogue Company, I'll say quickly, I played it a little bit in 2020. A friend of mine gave me a beta key, and it was kind of cool, but I don't know, it didn't hold my interest, so I didn't play it. Coincidentally, I also played Paladins for the first time in 2020, and I really liked it. I remember hearing a little bit about it, and people were saying, oh, don't spend the money on Overwatch, just download Paladins, and I was kind of like, man, I don't know, Overwatch seems pretty cool. At the time, I didn't own Overwatch, or wasn't playing it regularly. But a friend of mine was like, hey, like, give Paladins a download. Let's play it. And I did enjoy it. I thought it was really fun. If you don't know what Paladins is, it's kind of like, Overwatch is kind of like a sci-fi futuristic hero shooter. Paladins was like a medieval fantasy hero shooter. And they were pretty similar. And I really liked Paladins. I played it pretty consistently. But then I remember buying Overwatch on my laptop. And, I mean, say whatever you want about Overwatch. I'm not trying to get into all that. I know that game starts like fights all the time. But the thing about Paladins, like, I can't quite say specifically or like put my finger on it directly. Like, it was cool. I thought there was a fun community. I thought the characters were cool. But there was just something like, I don't know, like there was just something, like it wasn't very smooth, and it was like, I respect that they tried all these new unique ideas, but it kind of just fell flat for me. Like, and I'd come back to it every now and then with, every multiplayer game. I'll play it for a little bit, get frustrated, and then stop playing. And it's like, get frustrated a little bit, stop playing, come back for a bit, and be like, oh, I love this game, I want to play it again. But it wasn't quite like that with Paladins. It was just something, I don't know. Like, again, I can't quite put my finger on it. You could kind of tell that, and I hate to say this sounds kind of mean, but it was kind of on life support. I felt like the writing was on the wall, and it was only a matter of time until this happened. I think the best chance that Paladins had was definitely when Overwatch 2 came out. And now a lot of people are playing Overwatch 2, but it definitely was getting a lot more hate. Around that time, it was like Overwatch 2 was the most negatively reviewed game on Steam. So I was like, oh, well, maybe people will try Paladins. Maybe there's a chance that this can get some momentum. And I didn't get a lot of people off of that. And then Marvel Rivals came out, and I think that was kind of that's kind of the final nail in the coffin. And I just, I think part of it comes down to like advertising. Like, nobody really knew what Paladins was. I don't think like graphically it could keep up with those games. I'm not an expert on this, but there's just something like Overwatch and Marvel Rivals to me feels like smooth. It feels like a modern game. It feels just better than Paladins. Like, it's really cool, but it's kind of like I don't know. I can't explain. It's kind of like you have like your favorite drink. Maybe you really like Gatorade. And then the first time you try Powerade, you're like, oh, I'm only going to drink Powerade. Something like that. But, I mean, it's sad to see the game go. I wish it could have done better. I think competition always makes the industry better. But the servers are still up. Maybe I'll get on and play like a game or two more. But that's pretty much it for Paladins. It's tough for those employees that got laid off. All of their stuff is going to Smite 2 now, which I haven't played Smite 2. I played a lot of Smite. Used to play a lot of Smite pretty regularly. Haven't been on it. But, I mean, it kind of just seems like they're putting all their chips, all their eggs in one basket with Smite 2, high-res is. And, if that doesn't work out, what are they going to do? But if you've never played Paladins, I guess it's kind of too late now. Like, servers are still open, but bit by bit, like, game's going to die. So it's been fun, Paladins. I didn't play you in the beginning, but the time I played from 2020 to like, when's the last time I played it? I'm going to pull up Steam real quick. And tell you when the last time it was that I played this game. I'm going to guess it was in early 2023. Okay, of course, Steam is going to take a while to load up. So I'm just going to be here while it loads. Hope everybody's having a nice day. Sorry, I just got a little choked up thinking about Paladins going away. I'm just kidding. And I'm going to have to go into I don't even have it installed. There it is. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so last time I played was January 28th, 2023. I have 54 hours in the game. And it was a grind. Like, sometimes it felt like playing a mobile game, but on your computer. Like, you could pay money to make it go faster, or you could really just grind it out. And that wasn't very fun, right? To get gold to play new characters, you had to unlock all the characters by getting gold, which is kind of cool. But dude, it took forever to get the gold. Took forever to unlock those characters, and then as soon as I get the character and I get into a game, someone else picks it. So I don't know, man. But Paladins, we salute you. Have fun in gaming heaven. Okay, so that is all for those kind of current events I wanted to mention. Let's get into the meat of this episode. And a topic I've been thinking about recently, that would be 5 video games that I would want to recommend for beginners. Like, if somebody was like, hey, I want to get into video games, what games do you think I should play? Now, obviously, like, it depends on the kind of person. It depends on this, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get into that. Obviously, I'd ask them a bunch of questions beforehand, figure out what they like or what they're interested in. But I decided to pick 5 because that's more to talk about rather than just picking one. I've got my 5 here and some honorable mentions as well. And I couldn't decide how I wanted to start this. If I wanted to start off with like I still can't decide. All right, I'm gonna do the honorable mentions real quick. The first one I thought was Firewatch, which is like a nice. It's like an 8-hour game, maybe a little shorter than that. It's some people would call it a walking simulator. I feel like there's a little bit more interactivity than that, but that's a fun like. I wouldn't want to give somebody like this 50-hour game to play. Like, I feel like give them enough to kind of whet their appetite, and then maybe get to the longer games. So Firewatch, nice story game. I think the graphics are good. I think it's pretty easy to pick up. It's not like you're dedicating your life to it either. So Firewatch, in the same vein as Firewatch, I'd said Soma, which is a horror game with a few puzzles thrown in there. Kind of like Amnesia, but a little bit more polished than Amnesia. Well, it was made by the same company. But again, I guess these are all kind of in the same vein because I realized I put after that What Remains of Edith Finch. Those are all three just like 10 hours at the most. Story games. Their graphics are good. Their atmosphere is good. I think they're just like in there. You can find them easily. They're easy to play. And those are the honorable mentions. I've just decided I'm going to start at number 5, work my way up to number 1. And all these games are pretty much, I don't know, I wanted to pick games that I've played, not just like, I looked up some lists online. People were like Animal Crossing. And I was like, oh, that seems like a good one, but I've never played it. And people were like Stardew Valley. And I was like, again, seems like a good one, but I've never played it. So we're going to go number 5. I thought of the game BioShock. It could be any of the BioShock games. These all do a good job of like graphics look good. The storyline is very good. It's got a great atmosphere. I think it really pulls you in. I think they do a good job of like representing that video games aren't just mindless, button clicking, staring at the screen. I mean, and that happens all the time, but I feel like there's it's a bit more rich. And it's not like overly complicated. There's some stuff to think about, but it's got a good mix of like easy to pick up, but also challenges you in a few ways. So any of the BioShock games, doesn't have to be the first one, but BioShock is what I thought of. Then I thought of Alan Wake, which I guess is kind of like maybe not a hidden gem, but also like BioShock, that it has a rich story with good voice acting, a great location. Again, it can make you think in a few ways. And it's actually kind of written. It's like episodic, because it's like episode 1, this episode 2. So I guess if you like watching TV, that's there. That's there for you to kind of pull you in. One was another one I had number 3. I had Minecraft. And Minecraft is another one that's pretty accessible. You can play it however you want to play it. You can play it with friends also. I think playing a game with friends is like a good way to get into it, and maybe your friends can help you along, or it's just nice to find a new way to have some laughs with some friends. The building is fun. You can mod it. Well, actually, mods are cool, but I remember people telling me about mods, and I always try my best to learn something new and try new stuff and like all that jazz. But modding just seemed like I'm like, dude, don't. Like, I don't even want to deal with that. Like, let's just load up the game and have fun, okay? Like, jeez. But Minecraft. Anyway, Minecraft, they've added a bunch of cool stuff to it. It's very accessible. It's on Xbox. It's on PC. It's not hard to find. You can build whatever you want. You can not build whatever you want. Now it's cool because there's, like, the Ender Dragon, so there's, like, an end goal to it. It's not just mindlessly running around. So, yeah. Minecraft. I think Minecraft gets a big thumbs up. The second one, I have the Halo games. Any of the Halos. This is really what pulled me into gaming. I remember like I wanted an Xbox, the original Xbox, so I could play Halo. I wanted the Xbox 360 so I could play Halo 3. Like that was the main reason why I wanted it. Pretty standard FPS game, and I think easy to start up. I just heard. Well, not just heard, but a little while ago, a YouTuber I like named Chugs, aka Adam Cole Bebe, he was saying about what got him into video games was that he was at a friend's house and he played Halo 5. And he said he stayed up all night playing Halo 5, and that was like that was the one that pulled them in, which I think is interesting because I think that's one of the lower ones in the series. But I mean, whichever one, it's still not. It's all right, but like still, you can have fun with that one. But yeah, the Halo franchise, you don't have to play all of them. Just pick one of them. And even the first, like Halo 1, I don't, Combat Evolved, I don't think that's old to the point of like super janky. Like there's some games, like I really like Half-Life, but man, that first Half-Life, I think, especially for new gamers, I just think is like a little bit inaccessible. I mean, you can still find it. You can play it on Steam, but there's just something. I don't know. It feels like I don't know. I can't put my mind to it. I don't want to say like an experienced gamer game, but I don't know. Oh, and older games can also be a little janky. Not that Half-Life is. I guess Half-Life can be a little janky, but I feel like Halo, like even the first one, like pretty smooth game. So pick any of the Halo games that you want. Also a co-op. Almost all of them, you can play through the campaign with a friend. So if you have a friend that likes Halo or someone who wants to play through it, which that was also something I did as a kid. My friends and I would marathon the Halo campaigns, and that was always fun. Get some pizza, get some soda, or sports drinks, whatever you want to drink, and just sit back and have a good time. And so lastly, when I first started thinking about this question, this is the very first game that I thought of, and that would be Portal, or, again, Portal 1 or 2. I feel like it goes with what I said before, which was they aren't super long games. They have a nice mixture of, it's all there, right? Like, it's funny and it's serious. It's dark, but also comedic and lighthearted. It also like makes you think for yourself, helps you kind of think like a gamer, but video game logic doesn't exactly make sense all the time. The only drawback I feel like with this is like I've been stumped on some I was about to say Halo portals for some reason. It's because I keep looking at my notes and Halo is right underneath Portal, but I've been stumped on some of the puzzles before. Portal's a puzzle game, and I've been stuck on a few. So I feel like if this was their first game and they got stuck on a puzzle, they'd be like, why am I doing this? So hey, I pick 5. Pick one of the other 5s if you're kind of stumped with Portal. But I feel like it teaches you a lot about video games, and not that like I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I have a skill, and the skill is playing video games. Like, it's really thought-provoking. Like, it can be, but I just think the Portal games teach you, like, look around, try to think outside the box. Sometimes there's more than one way to solve a situation. So, yeah, and I really like Portal 2. That's like the sequel. Not Portal also, but, like, the number 2. So, yeah, if you're looking for games, there's 5 examples here. You can go BioShock, Alan Wake, Minecraft, Halo, or Portal. Those are the 5 that I would say are just easy. I saw a list that was like Fortnite, League of Legends, Minecraft, and something else. And I was like, I definitely wouldn't recommend Fortnite or League of Legends. Maybe I would recommend Fortnite because that's like the most accessible. Like a ton of people I know play that, and they don't really play video games, but it's just like it's free to download, hop on with your friends, see how it goes. So maybe I would, but not League of Legends. League of Legends is free to play, but that's just a super complicated game. Also very toxic, as in like a lot of negativity, a lot of hate. Like I don't want somebody to start off with that. Like I want them to play these fun games. And hey, look, I played a lot of League of Legends. I'll probably play it again. I'll do it again. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I guess if you don't know what I mean, ask like a person who plays video games in your life, and maybe they can explain it. But there you go. Those are the 5 video games BigHatBrock would recommend. I meant to mention this earlier in the episode, but I'm not holding the microphone this time. You can kind of see it sitting in the corner right here. And I like to hold the microphone because I'm kind of like, I don't know if it qualifies as an iPad kid or like, I just like to fidget with stuff. I always feel like I have to be doing something with my hands. Like sometimes when I'm watching sports, I feel like I have to be eating something, but whatever, that's beside the point. but I'm not holding the microphone because every time, like, when I set it down or move it slightly or when it bumps something, it makes this awful noise that I noticed in the recording. So I'm trying to keep that to a minimum, have it sit here. Finally, we'll end off with what have I been playing, what have I been reading, what have I been watching. Well, I'm still watching The Walking Dead on Netflix. I just got through season 2. And man, this just, like, I've watched it before. This is my second time going through these episodes. I didn't finish the series, but I got pretty far in. And man, I gotta say, these early seasons are they're just so good. Such compelling television. Everybody's doing such a great job. And it's a real throwback to those, 2010 days and earlier. Well, I guess it was earlier than that, but yeah, Norman Reedus is just the dude. He's so cool. So is Shane and Rick. I'm a better father than you, Rick. It's man. If you've never watched The Walking Dead, please, I implore you, give it a watch. It's deeper than just zombies. I played, speaking of old janky games, I played the Stalker games, I played the original Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. And it was actually really fun. I got it on the Xbox Series X because I didn't know how well it would run on newer computers because those are pretty old games. But they released this collection on Xbox called Legends of the Zone, which is like updated graphics and ported to the Xbox. And it's a pretty good port for the most part. But then I also think they put that updated version on Steam. And I'm like, dang. I wish I had just gotten it on Steam, but whatever. Still runs pretty well, still works pretty well on Xbox. And like I said before, it's old, it's janky, but it was still a really fun experience. I got that like, the feeling I got when I was first playing like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and games like Borderlands and Skyrim. I got that feeling playing this. And I really liked the game, except the ending was like super frustrating. There's like, you have to go through like a bunch of hallways, and you have to fight like 10 soldiers in each hallway, and they all have like bulletproof or bullet piercing or armor piercing bullets, and they don't miss. I had to restart so many times, and there's no like, there's scarce auto saving, so you have to like save manually often. And it got to the point where I was like, after every soldier I killed, I'd pause the game, save it. Like pause the game, save it. Like it was just getting that frustrating. But outside of that, pretty good game. It was a little annoying that, like in Fallout, they'll be like, hey, go talk to this character. And I'm like, okay. So I go to talk to the character, and maybe a fight happens. And there is a chance they can die, but most of the time they have really high health and everything's good. But all the time in Stalker, it'd be like, go talk to this guy. And it's like, oh, you failed to talk to this guy because he's dead. And sometimes it's like, oh, that's part of the chaos of the story. But then I'm like, dude, like, I just want to talk to this character. I don't want to, like, and I would fail tasks. It'd be like, save this group of people, and then like 30 boars would roll up and kill them before I could even get there. And it's like, oh, you failed to save these people. I'm like, what was I supposed to do? But look, besides those things, the atmosphere is really cool. I love being in the zone. I love just like hunting for artifacts and watching out for anomalies. That was really fun. I started playing Stalker Clear Skies. That's been cool too. For some reason, maybe because they just released, I should have talked about this in current events, but I've been playing Battlefield 3, like the Battlefield 3 that came out in like 2012, I think, 2011. And I've been playing it because they announced a new Battlefield game that looks like kind of a return to the modern kind of military style. And I think the little snippet, they released like a minute long pre-alpha, explosions and shooting. You don't get much from it, but I'm like, dang, that reminds me of like those other Battlefields. Like I should play those. So I started playing Battlefield 3, and it's been a fun replay. Getting some nice nostalgia from that. The video that I think DICE or EA, whoever released, was like, we're releasing this new thing called Battlefield Labs, and players are going to get to come in and test to make sure they like it. And it's like this 13-minute video, and I saw someone comment like, oh, they really made a video announcing this new feature called Quality Assurance. So that was pretty funny. But hopefully that game is good. I don't know if I'll play it, but been trying to play through these older games. Let's see. One funny story I want to share. I have Silent Hill written here. The only Silent Hill game I've ever played is Silent Hill Homecoming, which I looked online and most people would consider to be like the worst, one of the worst, if not the worst of the franchise. That and I think Silent Hill Downpour both fight for which one ever is the worst. I bought Silent Hill Homecoming for like, I don't know, $7 or something on the Xbox store. And I didn't mind, honestly I didn't mind it. I was happy when it was over. It started off pretty good, and then by the end I was sick of it. But I didn't mind it. But the reason I brought this up is because I've been trying to look for other Silent Hill games with the Silent Hill 2 remake coming out, and apparently it was good. I keep getting all these Silent Hill memes. So I'm like, man, I should really play these games. This is like one of the big franchises I've never got to play. So I went to this this kind of like thrift gaming store. And I said, hey, like by chance, do you have any Silent Hill games? Not really expecting much because it's really hard to get a copy of those, of any of the original ones. And the girl goes, yeah, I have Silent Hill 2. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And she goes, yeah, it's going to be $200. And I was like, whoa, okay. And then she said, I think she said Silent Hill 3 for $150. And then there was one more I can't really remember. Then it was like, then I have Silent Hill Homecoming for $35. And I was like, no way. And then I feel like there was one more she had for like another price I wasn't going to pay. And I was like, thanks, but no thanks. And I was just thinking, like, it's a real shame that this historic video game franchise that's beloved by all is just very difficult to play now. They did the Silent Hill 2 and 3 HD remakes for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, but all I heard was that those were really, really bad. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to play that. Like, I want it to be good. I want it to be not authentic, but, like, I want to enjoy myself. So hopefully they get Silent Hill 1 and some of the other games to, be more available, playable, more accessible. See, that's a game, like, I've never played Silent Hill, and I feel like I would recommend it to somebody had I played it, but then it's like, yeah, good luck finding, 1, a copy of the game, 2, a console that can play it, 3, a television that can even run it. Like, because those older games need, like, the auxiliary cords, like the red, white, and yellow cords. So I don't know, man. It's a mess. But I just thought that was a fun story. The books I'm reading... Oh, okay, so I said I was playing the Stalker games. That reminded me of the book that inspired them, also called... Well, actually, it's called Roadside Picnic. That's a really great sci-fi book. And I also watched the movie Stalker, which is an very old Russian movie. But that was good, too. I think that's about it. What are we at here? 35 minutes. Wow, I was really worried that this was going to be way shorter, but it looks like we pretty much hit our mark. Yeah, okay, there we go. So thank you everybody for watching. This was the historic 4th episode of Brock Talk. We're halfway to our goal of 8. Let's keep the gravy train rolling. I saw that we didn't get to our goal of 140 subscribers by the end of January. That's all right. I realized in hindsight that a lot of YouTubers say that for some reason January is a slow month. So whatever, right? But we still uploaded. We're still working. But thanks to everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know if there's any topics that you'd like me to cover. Let me know what games you would recommend to someone trying to get into gaming. And yeah, have a nice day. Thank you again for watching. Peace.